Hey everyone, this is Jerry Visca, your Why Guy, inspiring 1 million whys, and the founding publisher of Why Time Mag. This is a global platform for real people and real voices. And welcome to the Launch It issue. This is like such an exciting time because right beside me is the cover story that we're going to be diving into today. And what I love about this issue is it's written and created with real people like Stephanie Da Ponte to help you launch and create what matters most. So, welcome Stephanie Da Ponte from Georgian Bay, Canada, to the cover feature of the Launch It issue. Welcome.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here and having this conversation with you.
So happy that we made it to this point. It's always an interesting ride for cover stories because there's this feature around you and around your theme, and you've carried this theme so beautifully in your feature. That's why I'm so excited about sharing this with everyone. So we call this Y platform a source of depth, and I've always loved that about you. And Stephanie, you're now an ordained minister and wedding officiant, which is
Oh,
such a beautiful accomplishment. There's a quote that you share, and it goes like this: Love is everything, and all that matters. Everything I do in the service with love. Tell us, why does officiating now speak to your soul?
there's a lot of energy of love that's infused into it, right? It's done with holding space for someone else's love for each other, for another couple. And I just feel like in the ceremony, that energy of love is just magnified, and not just for the couple, but for their entire gathering of family and friends. So it kind of trickles out to everyone.
It must be amazing witnessing this coming of love. How does that feel, seeing this love coming together, and you're sort of this bridge making it real?
It's goosebumps. Yeah, I get tingles and goosebumps every time. Um, yeah, it's something really, really special. And um, there's in the opening, when I open, I say how fortunate I am to be witness to these intimate moments. And it's never to be taken for granted, and how truly honored I am to be a part of that. It's just something so special. And when other people can be so vulnerable to share that piece of their hearts with me and with their friends and family, um, it's just magical.
It's beautiful. I love that. There's another quote you share that really strikes a chord, and I think it's appropriate for this issue, especially seeing you launch into these beautiful roles and launching into who you're meant to be. It goes like this: new role I've stepped into has been the scariest and the most rewarding journey. So tell us, how can listeners who are hearing this learn from your story? Because you've been through a, quite a few ebbs and flows in life. How can
Mhm.
they use this story, use your words to push beyond the fear of launching and living what matters most?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we stop before we even start because we're just so afraid of taking that step. And, it took quite a few nudges for me to even take that first step, to becoming officiated, to becoming an ordained minister so that I could pursue this path. And I just put one foot in front of the other, and I tried not to think too far ahead. And I think if we can just do that and kind of break everything down piece by piece versus the whole how am I going to make this work? How is this going to happen? If we can just remove the how, which is a practice in itself, we can just take that step with faith and know that the next step will come automatically. And that's kind of how this journey has been for me, where I've taken every step terrified. And then every step I was like, wow, like I actually could do it. I actually did it. And it just, adds a little bit to that self-confidence piece and that self-love piece.
I love that. I love those. There's three really big nuggets there that you've shared. breaking everything down piece by piece helps you push through it.
Mhm.
Letting go of the how, which is very easy to get stuck in, and
Yeah.
faith above all else seems to really strengthen your belief, especially in this last 12 to 18 months, the changes that you've made and your family has made, and
Mhm.
changes in your own inspirational career. You didn't wait for everything to just be perfectly lined up, did you?
No. No, and actually, like, sometimes you can lay out the best plan and think like, "Okay, if I just do 1, 2, 3, and 4, then the outcome is gonna look exactly like this." But that's so farthest from the truth. Like, things can pop up, things can change, nothing is ever gonna be perfect. And so, taking those steps and just kind of learning to surrender and letting the outcome just beautifully unfold.
So I picture a bride listening, a future bride listening, and their fiance, and they're probably filled with excitement, fear.
Mhm.
How is it that you sort of settle their nerves, and how do you help them?
Yeah, I mean, I asked them questions to, like, get to know them a little bit better and their story, and, I find that usually really settles, because then it really shifts them from fear into love, because they're talking about their love, they're talking about each other, they're, opening their hearts, and just that itself tends to settle them, and I think that it really is the biggest lesson is when we can shift from fear to love, everything everything works out. Love is everything. Love encompasses everything.
And that is really the central focus of your work, central focus of this feature with you. I love the photos that you selected for your piece. Everyone is these audiences, these the congregation, they're all like in sheer laughter and joy, and you're there with your microphone in the center of it all. And there was a time when you probably were afraid of speaking in public.
Oh my gosh, I'd never in a million years. I've always said I don't do public speaking. Even my sister asked me for her wedding if I would stand up and do words, and I was like, "No." Like, never. And then, yeah, I don't know. It just that energy of love just got me up there, and once I start, it just melts away. All that fear goes away.
Fantastic. I love that. Stephanie, I want to move into this other piece of this beautiful wide platform that you're in and
Mhm.
created is you're also a writer and a healer. And you're also novelist of the year. Thank you very much for time.
Thank
And
you.
this is the first time we've identified a novelist of the year. And that really touches my soul because, as you know, I love writing novels. And we're working together with your new novel, which is just such a beautiful creation. You've also been published in 5 of our Y books, and most recently, the Book of Whispers. Tell us, how has writing in these books and also now writing in your own novel, how is that magnifying your deeper why?
Well, the writing itself for me, has kinda is like a lifelong dream of mine of wanting to write, but, those self-doubts and self-limiting beliefs, I always thought it wasn't something I could ever do, that you had to, have all these accolades and be a scholar, and I just felt like I never fit into those titles, so how could I be a writer? But the writing journey itself, has deepened my own self-discovery, and it's been therapeutic at times in having me face emotions um, and seeing the overcoming of those emotions and feelings and working through those challenges. It's brought me greater awareness of how I wanna show up in the world and how I wanna live my purpose and how I wanna be of service to others, and just in any way in my life.
I love how this stage of your life, and for me, it's been such a joy to witness. I remember our first wide time conversation and you
Mhm,
expressing how much you wanted to write. And
mhm.
sure, there are a little sense, a little fear and doubt, but the way that you pushed through the discomfort, everything that I've seen you create and witness your creation has always been through going through discomfort. Even this issue of White
Mhm.
Time Meg. It's pushing
Yes.
through discomfort. And I think you've been such a role model for people that are maybe struggling to move to that. It's easy to stay comfortable. And I guess my question to you on that is your message to aspiring writers, just like you.
Mhm.
You're now looking at all these books that you've written, all these different themes. What would your message to them be that maybe they're hesitating?
Just start. Just start pen to paper, with the intention. Sometimes even I just start that like, no one's going to read this. It doesn't matter what I write down. I don't have to be scared of what people are going to think. No one's going to read it. I'm just going to start writing, and then once you start, you start moving yourself through it. Um and I think don't ever give up. Yeah.
And surround yourself with a cool team.
Yeah, with a cool team
Yeah.
and love and angels and
Love and angels. There's that love again, right?
yeah.
So everything you do is from love. Uh, there's another quote that I love. My healing journey has been one of deep self-discovery, and it
Mhm.
just keeps getting deeper and deeper with you. Share with us why writing in the Book of Whispers, because your work was so poetic, it was so moving. Why writing in the Book of Whispers? Why did that speak to your soul?
I think it was an opportunity for me to be really creative with my experiences and my emotions. It allowed me to, in a way, to creatively put together things that I have gone through, and I've been able to look at them and be like, wow, like, yeah, that happened. And I'm still here, and I'm okay, and I'm safe, and I'm loved, and I'm cared for, and I'm surrounded by people that love me. And I think I really wanted to portray in the Book of Whispers to people that is just the case. You can go through the hard, and it's hard, but you're going to grow and be so much stronger for it, even if you don't feel like you're strong, right? We're always like, oh, I'm not strong. But really, you are. There is a warrior inside of you. Yeah.
So another message to readers, Stephanie, is you've really learned how to be one with your soul, to listen to that soul,
Mhm.
especially during the most challenging times where
Mhm.
you feel that beautiful little soul inside you saying, hey, Stephanie, this is
Yeah.
what we need to be. Can you share with listeners some of your tips on how you listen?
Yeah, I think sometimes it takes a few times for me to realize and to hear. Like sometimes it is just like this tiny little, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, okay. And then, as it gets louder, then it's kind of like, okay, I can't ignore it anymore. Like, what are you saying to me? Like, what is it? And then, yeah, I just follow my heart in that. And it's never led me wrong.
Paying attention, following your heart, allowing that love. There's another quote that you share about love that is just beautiful. Love transcends all time and space, all races, ethnicities, and gender. I am here to guide others to journey deeper within their hearts. Tell us about this journey that you take readers on. How are you helping them reconnect to themselves and the world around them?
Hmm. I think when I look back at my life, and before some of the biggest challenges that I've ever had to face, um, I always felt like life was happening to me, and like everything outside of myself was wrong, and therefore that's why I was so unhappy. That's why the struggle felt so hard. It felt like things weren't going right, or I could never do enough, right? There was this theme that I felt. But I think once we can really start to go inwards and listen to ourselves and listen to our hearts and connect on that level of what we feel and know in our hearts to be true. And when you can start listening and surrendering and following that guidance, I think that's really where the magic happens. because when you're in love, in the energy of love, it just grows, it magnifies. It's the vibration of love is just, you can't be angry in love. You can't be fearful in love. Love melts that all away. Love is healing. Love is encouraging. Love is supporting. And I think as that grows within yourself, then it just opens you up to receive. Comes to mind, like, I hear a lot like, oh, if you don't love yourself, then how can you love someone else? And I don't really agree with that. I think if you can't love yourself, then you won't be open to receive love, because then you're stuck in the I'm not deserving state of mind, versus when you can connect and love yourself, then you're deserving. You're deserving of that love, and you're open to receiving that. And then that magnifies, that spills into everybody else that you give love to.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love how everything's intertwined with your work, with your efficient work, with your writing, with your healing. You mentioned earlier that you really feel you're surrounded by nothing but angels. There's some
Mhm.
pretty special angels around you. My last question to you would be, years from now, your amazing family, your kids, they're holding your books, they're sitting around a fire, they're reading your new novel and some of your beautiful work. And I know this is always an emotional question, but what
Mhm.
is it that you would want them to say about you, and how you're wrapping them and how they feel your love from above?
What I feel is that they would know me better. Sometimes, they don't know, other people don't know our inner thoughts and our inner feelings. And I feel like this is a great way to share that, and that they'll feel closer to me, that they'll feel my love stronger for that, that they won't question that. They'll just know how I was just filled with so much love for them and everyone around me.
It's so beautiful. Reverend Stephanie Da Ponte, the cover story. Beautiful, beautiful cover story in the Launch It issue, Novelist of the Year in 2023. It's why we call this feature Stephanie's Source of Depth. And I highly, highly encourage you to reach out to Stephanie, get a signed copy of this spectacular issue. Stephanie, on behalf of Why Time Mag and all the people around the world that are searching for love, thank you for sharing your deeper why and your source of depth with all of us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's feels like a privilege to share that.